everyone. My name is Sandra Diaz. I work in the SimLab Neuroscience in Jülich Supercomputing Center. And today I will show you a bit of what we have been doing on our research, trying to study the relationships between structural connectivity and function at different scales. So, first of all, we want to understand how structure at different scales impacts function. And specifically, we want to see how different parameters in structure used in our models affect our ability to match experimental data. And also, we want to see if there are particular parameters in our models which enable us to simulate better an individual's functional connectivity or between one healthy and a pathological subject, or even between ages. So we want to be able to characterize an individual out from these parameters. And to do that, our approach is to use a multiscale whole brain simulation. And here we simulate a whole brain by dividing it into 68 regions. And then each of these regions, we model it as a point neuron simulation in NEST. And at the same time, we use a dynamic mean field model to represent this. And why do we do this? Because we have global connectivity data provided by DTI experimental data, but we have no idea of the very precise local connectivity of our model. So we use structural connectivity in NEST to find local connections, which then we feed into our dynamic mean field model. And you might say, well, why don't do it all in the point neural model? Well, because it's just too large of a simulation that we would have to do with a point neural model. But the dynamic mean field model allows us to take just the most representative activity patterns that we want to simulate and then produce a comparable signal to those of an fMRI, for example. So here we have two scales, the point neuron scale and the dynamic mean field model scale. And we have two connectivity levels, so two parameter space levels. So in order to explore the potential combinations of parameters in the local model, we developed a visualization and interactive tool which we can use on the supercomputers to see how the firing rate of the regions change through time. We can see how connections are being created and deleted through time. We can modify parameters which guide this creation and deletion of synapses. And we can see the effects of how adding more connections influences the actual firing rate, or reducing the connections, how does it change through time. On the other side, we have the global parameter space exploration, and our dynamic mean field model has a broad range of parameters, but then to be able to explore it in an efficient way, we use adaptive techniques such as genetic algorithms or gradient descent algorithms, and we define a measure to say, okay, this output is quite similar to the experimental data or not. So our preliminary results with genetic algorithms and gradient descent algorithm allows us to explore a lower amount of points in the space, but still finding the minimum that we are looking for and trying to match our simulations to the experiments. And so in conclusion, we use structural plasticity in NEST to generate connectivity at the lowest level. Then we use our interactive steering tools to visualize how the changes in the structure impact the function. We use adaptive algorithms to search the global parameter space in an efficient way. And we think our multiscale approach enables us to study the impact of connectivity in function in different scales. So thank you very much for your attention, and you're welcome to visit me in poster number 26.